Welcome back to this episode of The Catholic View for Women. I'm Teresa Tomeo, along with my co-hosts Elena Rodriguez and Janet Morena. We're talking about America and how America, as Father Frank, our spiritual advisor, always says, America will not end abortion until America sees abortion. I do believe, ladies and brothers and sisters out there in our audience, I do believe that America is finally starting to see abortion, because these abortionists and those who support them are really doing themselves a disservice with these extreme laws, because they're revealing what Roe v. Wade gave us.
That's right.
Over 43 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, finally, the veil's being lifted a little bit. But, you know, it just, when you see how the other side twists and turns, like, for example, we've had multiple states now. Kansas was the first to pass what's called, I'll give you the exact name, Unborn Child Dismemberment Abortion Act. It was signed by then Governor Sam Brownback, right? The ironic thing is, when that bill was being argued in the state legislature, both Planned Parenthood and the Democrats opposing that bill would not say the name of the bill. Now, you tell me, when do you have people coming to the floor, you know, Mr. Chairman, I'm now going to address, and they name the bill. They wouldn't name the why, because it had the word dismemberment in it. They couldn't say the word dismemberment.
But that is what the bill.
That's what the bill is about. But, you know, it's really great because so many states now have passed these laws. I think 21 states have already passed dismemberment legislation. And you know, here when we're taking the programs, you know, in Alabama, the Supreme Court is considering a case that would review the Alabama's law, the dismemberment bill. Yeah, and there's 21 other states have joined in support of Alabama in their position in that case. So I think what's really happened here is a lot is going to percolate now up through the courts. And that's why, to go back to elections just briefly, and that's why elections are so important.
They have consequences.
They have consequences because President Trump is appointing as many as he can on the federal level judges. And so people might say, well, yeah, the case goes to the Supreme Court, but it's the federal level first, to that circuit court, and then the Court of Appeals at the federal level. So the appointing people, you figured Obama had 8 years to put a bunch of liberals there. So as more people are retiring, President Trump is replacing them with more.
Even on the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, which is one of the most wacky liberal courts, benches in the country, we were able to get a pro-life judge on
That's
there.
right. You know, so this is so important. And I think, you know, so much has happened. Again, here we are in Alabama, where just recently they passed a law banning all abortion. Now you thought, could that ever happen in the United States of America in the climate we're in? But again, I think the pro-aborts have overplayed their hands with all this infanticide later up to birth. I mean, unashamedly, up till birth is fine. It's a woman's right to choose.
And then, thank goodness we have governors that are willing to say, look, the constituency wants. This is a very pro-life, very faith-based state of Alabama. People want it. And this is what she said. This is what the governor of Missouri said. This is what the governor of Louisiana has said. Listen, we are pro-life
state. The voters of my state are a pro-life state, and that's what I'm going to do. The will of the people. Because that's what it's supposed to be.
Right.
It's the people's choice, not just the real choice.
But the other thing going on here, and we've talked in previous episodes about you know, stifling the truth and stifling free speech. The information about seeing abortion, and we just saw one example of it. We tried to dissect it, and we're looking at this from a media perspective because we do this for a living. But as you said, Elaine, during the break, not everybody may notice that in terms of the manipulation of the camera and the way they were trying to move away, and other things that we picked up. The woman sitting behind Monica when she was testifying, the people, how they were looking down, the representatives, they were looking down, not paying attention to Monica, ignoring, basically trying to block out everything she was saying. We have got to make sure people understand, and Father Frank always reminds me of this. Too long ago, a whole thing dedicated to pro-life defense 101, the abortionist worship, really how to defend yourself and defend the faith lovingly, but to ask questions. Well, when someone says, well, I'm pro-choice. He told me a story. It was a really interesting story. You may remember this, but he said that I think he was in Washington attending a meeting, and he saw some women outside some event that was going on, holding signs about being pro-choice. And he went up to them and he said, okay, so you support a woman's right to choose. What does that mean to you? And they said to him, well, you know what it means. He goes, well, I know what it means to me, but I'm just curious what it means to you. And he said there were like 3 or 4 women, and not one of them could explain what they meant. And then he said, well, how long do you think abortion should be legal for? Like, to what level of gestation? None of them could answer it.
That's right.
Because here's the thing, and this is the case with me when I was pro-choice. I didn't have the answers. I just have the rhetoric and the emotion. That's why we need to see the reality of it in order to change it.
Right. And Dr. Monica Miller
Go ahead.
she uses a term that caught my attention. She says all this happens under the veneer of normalcy.
Right. That's a very good point.
And I thought, exactly, that's what it is. It's a gradual, as you described in the city, gradual. Well, if you want to see more pictures like Dr. Monica Miller had out there, you can go to a special webpage we have at Priest Life called lookatabortion.com. Lookatabortion.com. Monica, many of her photos available to Father Google or myself in our ministry. It's up there. And then there's another note. Not only do you want to show people, the pictures of what abortion does to that child, but let's look at the development of the baby. And I know we're not supposed to have our cell phones here, ladies and gentlemen, but there's a brand new app called SEE, Baby Pregnancy Guide. See Baby Pregnancy Guide. And when you go to the App Store, it's going to be a little blue square with a little stork. And you download that app, and what you're going to see there is the unborn child through not ultrasound, but something called embryoscopy. And this is where a camera is inside the woman, right up to the window of her womb. And you see this baby, and there's footage here for the first few weeks of development. And to me, this is the tool to use. Go to See Baby Pregnancy, and the camera can't see it, but we'll show it later. You can see the baby moving, he's sucking his thumb.
And then they give you the details of the development.
Yeah, I mean, some of these babies at like 7 weeks, their heart has beat at that point 5 million times at 7, 8 weeks. It's astounding.
Yeah.
This is available too in both English and Spanish. And then a part of looking at abortion, look at the
looking at
child.
Right.
And we have a great project. You can go to a website called babychris.org. We're encouraging people to, like, the way we follow the unborn Jesus, follow the baby, like,
read the Gospel of St. Luke and the visitation.
Right.
Yeah. The mother of my Lord should come to me, and your voice was heard. My baby leapt in my womb. Yeah, right.
Yes.
Saint Elizabeth to the Blessed Mother.
So at the same time, we're looking at the pictures of what abortion does to these children. We have to look at the images of the children. And see, I don't like calling them unborn. Children in the womb.
Right.
Children in the womb.
You know what? That's a great point, Shannon. I'm glad you said that, because I went to a baby shower not too long ago. I was saying, I'm going to a clump of cell shower. And once I got there, everybody was talking about the baby.
Right.
How's the baby doing? What color is the room going to be? Because it's a girl, and they're talking about the names. Seriously, it's a baby.
It's a baby. It's children in the womb. And for an unexpected pregnancy, it's an unexpected blessing. Let's change our language to be more
Let's reclaim the language. All right, lots of homework. I can't believe the show is coming.
Okay. Homework number 1, if you're interested, Monica Miller wrote a wonderful book called Abandoned the Wars, available at the Ewtn Religious Catalog. Number 2, we're suggesting communicate with your state and federal legislators to express your support for laws that protect children from dismemberment and the other pro-life laws that they're trying to enact. Number 3, of course, read my book, Recall Abortion, at the Ewtn Religious Catalog. Tons of information there. And also my other book, item number 4, Shockwaves, Abortion, White Circle of Victims. And I actually have diagrams in that book of the abortion procedures. Of course, number 5, check out your book, Teresa, Extreme Makeover, also at the Religious Catalog, and a chapter called Abortion Distortion. Of course, go to our website, thecatholicmovement.com, where we'll have all the homework listed. And of course, we'd like you to like us on Facebook. And finally, I must just do a moment here for our kitchen Madonna. She's our patroness here, our show. She's a beautiful, heavy bronze statue. And of course, she has beautiful symbolism here. Room here, which keeps the home clean, but also reminds us to keep our thoughts. She has a kettle here. Beautiful meals you serve in the home, but also to nourish it, not just your body, but also your soul. Finally, the keys to the kingdom, which she'll keep the house safe, but also to open us to Jesus, the keys to heaven. Again, available at the Religious Catalog, and I know we'll have her in our home.
Yep.
Great shower present, wonderful, and housewarming gift.
Wedding gift, maybe, too?
Wedding gift.
Thanks so much for watching The Catholic View for Women. All the information, as Janice said, is on our website, thecatholicviewforwomen.com. Don't be afraid to help others see abortion, because that's the only, as Father Frank says, that it's going to end. We'll see you next time on The Catholic View.